Want to introduce our officers. We have Mark VanDyke up here, our District 13 Director, Scott Geary, Josh Deal. I'm Cary Brown, your sitting president. Also want to introduce our board members. If you guys will stand if you're here. Nick Bales, Ryan Joyce, Scott Marr, Russ Riddell, Rashad Wilson, Pamela Shelley, Dan Merriman, and Jeff Konecko. Thank you guys for all your service and everything that you're doing for your section. Also want to point out that we do have a couple past presidents in the room, Danny Elkins and Brian Albertson. If you guys will stand, thank you very much for everything you've done for our association. Want to thank also our presenting partners for this meeting today, Dwight Hansen from JDX and Nick Anderson from MemberSports. Thank you guys. Committee reports will stand as written for this meeting. You see on your table there are some QR codes there. You can scan those in, and all those reports will be available for you if you want to open those up and look at those on your phone or on your tablet. We're excited that we are able to announce our section award winners today. If you are in attendance, please stand and let's hold our applause to the very end. This year, our Golf Professional of the Year will be John Wade from Ocean Forest. Our Teacher of the Year is Charlie King from Georgia Golf Center. Our Bill Strasbourg Award winner is Jonathan Maddox. Our PGA Professional Development Award winner is Darren Johnson. Our Merchandise of the Year Private is Mike Reimer. Our Merchandise of the Year Public is James Mora. Our Merchandise of the Year Resort is Bill Daggett. Golf Executive of the Year is Stephen Hamblin. Player Development Award, Sean Coach. Youth Player Development Award, Brian Albertson. Patriot Award, Michael Assey. Salesman of the Year, Kobe Davis. Congratulations, everybody. So at this time, I want to welcome up Dwight Hansen from JDX. He's going to speak to us for a little bit, and we'll move on from there.
Well, good morning, everyone. Hopefully this thing's working. My name's Dwight Hansen. For those of you who don't know, I am a PGA member of the Georgia section. 25 of the last 30 years I've spent in the section, recently coming back this past May after 5 years away. Had to go to California for work, but I am the North American Sales Director for Golf Buddy America, which is an umbrella company comprised of Golf Buddy, JDX, SParms, and I'm missing one, Saintnine. Been one of those mornings. Anyway, we're really excited to be here today sponsoring the section. We plan on getting more and more involved over the next several years with the section, and look forward to working with a lot of y'all. Our local sales rep, my wife actually, Sherri Hansen, who many of you know, is here with us as well. Going to briefly just kind of give you a rundown of our four companies, our four brands. The first one is Golf Buddy. Golf Buddy is one of the leaders in laser technology and voice GPS. We have a great lineup of products, from handheld lasers at low price points starting at $179 all the way up to premium lasers at $340. Fastest laser in golf right now. For years, and we just introduced for holiday a version. It's the first voice unit that actually incorporates slope. And we have a real cool special that Sherri's going to be emailing to all of the section members. This is a Georgia PGA special only for holiday, to where if you bring in 3 lasers, 3 watches, 3 wearables, whatever you don't sell for Christmas, you get to send back. So it's we were trying to come up with a name for it, Christmas special, Georgia section special, and we just called it the no-brainer because it really is kind of a no-brainer. So that's Golf Buddy in a nutshell. Really cool stuff. The brand's been around for 20 years. A lot of y'all remember who've been here a long time. Tom Brown had the line for 15 years here. Since Tom left, admittedly, we have struggled to get good representation here, but I can assure you now you've got somebody that's going to service you well. So the next brand in our lineup is JDX Apparel. JDX hired me about 3.5 years ago to bring the brand from Korea to the United States. You've probably seen JDX out on the PGA Tour with people like Sung J.M., who recently just finished second in the FedEx Cup, the Jutanagarn sisters and Charlie Hull, Angel Yen on the LPGA Tour, and a lot more. I wish that I could announce some new American signings for 2023, but the ink hadn't quite dried yet. But we landed a couple of big names for next year that are Americans that are really going to raise our profile. But JDX is a huge company in Korea with over 380 retail stores. We brought it here in 2020. Of course, COVID hit, so it's been a bit of a struggle, but you can find us right now in about 800 of the best country clubs in America. And although we are a higher price point product line, we do have collections that really will fit almost any facility's demographics. So it's really cool fabrications, really cool designs, and it's a lot of innovation coming from Asia, but with an American fit. So very, very cool stuff. Our third brand is Saintnine golf balls. Saintnine is another Korean company. You're starting to see a trend here. Saintnine is it's actually the #2 golf ball in Korea behind only Titleist. And again, we brought that here to the States right in the middle of COVID. So it has definitely been a bit of a interesting road with Saintnine. But Saintnine, our brand ambassador, was actually here yesterday. Charlie, channel. Very briefly on the PGA Tour, but we've got a great lineup of golf balls that really will fit in here. Currently running ad channel as well as the Charlie Reimer Golf Show for the 28 people who watched that Sunday morning on ESPN. But then finally, probably our most well-known brand in the marketplace right now is SParms. SParms originally came from Australia. 95% of the LPGA Tour wears SParms, and about 50% of the Champions Tour. We've got a handful of people on the PGA Tour, but it seems like the younger fellows think that they're immune to the sun's rays. And SParms, in a nutshell, it's UV protectant, sun protection. And while we have sleeves like everybody else, the reason our company is so big on the tours, sleeves will tend to run down your arm or they'll leave a ring on your arm. We have a single piece shoulder wrap that just wraps over your shoulders and is very comfortable. It's also a great product because it has a cooling effect. You'll see our LPGA Tour players walking off of the tee and they're doing this with their arms in the summertime, and that's because it's activating the cooling effect. Really cool stuff. Finally, my wife's going to come up, Sherri. Most of y'all have met her. If you haven't picked up your free Vibe, which is a really cool product that is one of her companies. That's loud. There you go.
Hey, hopefully everybody did get one. If you, for some reason, came into the room and passed the table, I'll be out there after the. Please do come get your Vibe. It is called the Vibe. It was the 2022 Best New Product at the PGA show this past year. It is a double insulated tumbler, very much like a Yeti. Keeps cold, keeps hot, so forth, but it has a Bluetooth speaker on the bottom. So to add a little extra fun to whatever beverage you may be enjoying. We've got two sizes. This is the 28 ounce. Each of y'all received an 18 ounce. There's only a $3 difference pricing-wise. The price point is great. The margins are great. Turnaround time is extremely fast if you would like to customize it. We laser etch on the side of the cup. And as I said, turnaround time is about 10 days. We've got a variety of great colors, and the minimums are low for customization. So certainly in your cups there was a flyer with my business card. So reach out to me. Great holiday gift, great tournament gift, and just great overall gift. So if I can help you or get some vibes for you in any way, other than those that already gave me some orders today, y'all certainly let me know. I would love to help you.
Thank you, guys. Really appreciate your support. Next, we'll have Mark Anderson come up and speak real quick.
Good morning. I just want to begin with two words, made in America. Hope you guys enjoy that. But I'm Nick Anderson. I founded company MemberSports a couple years ago. We just launched 2 months ago for our first. We've been in development, trying to make the best golf software out there. And it's been a fun 2 years with me and my team, and we're really excited to be here to partner with the Georgia section of the PGA. There's a lot of good things happening in this industry. And one thing that we truly enjoy is technology. And I don't know, that guy has a good swing right there. Just so you know, it might be me. You know, one of these things that we found when I started golfing, I didn't start golfing until after college, just right afterwards. Just got into it, something that I had to do with my occupation and finance, and it was really interesting. When I get in there, I was like, hey, you know, man, it's so hard to make a tee time, or it's so hard to track things on my phone, and technology gets better and better every year. One thing that we noticed that never really changed was that you would find so many different systems out there that courses were using, and one of the biggest pain points that we found from professionals were that they were using different systems for everything. And one thing that we decided to do, and I love golf. I wanted to have an excuse. My wife thinks this is just an excuse to get out and golf, and now she won't get mad at me because I can call it work. But so be it. I love it. It's one of my favorite things, and one of the things that we also are doing is we're creating software not only for golf but for other sports as well, like pickleball, tennis, everything related into mostly around private course facilities where they have a pool reservation system, a tennis, they have courts, they have other amenities and so forth, and we're even adding a food and beverage deal here pretty soon. And the number one thing that we started with was the tee sheet. This is where golf professionals and your team lives when you're in the shop day in and day out. And what we did with the tee sheet is that we made everything possible on one system. You can do your reservations online. We have a tournament software that you can access directly from the tee sheet, manage from the tee sheet, and you can do everything from that platform. We wanted to make it simple. One of the things that when we started, we said, hey, we want to do 3 things. We want to make it intuitive, because we don't want you spending time training people as they come in, new employees, new team members as they come in, to say, hey, this is our system, call us up, get training. We've given this blind test multiple times to people, just saying, hey, here's our system, can you figure it out? And within 5 to 10 minutes, they can navigate the entire tee sheet without any training, check someone in, check someone out, and figure it out that quick and easy. And we have a lot of back-end technology that allows automation and makes your life easy to make sure that when you come in and people are, your players and the people that you serve have the best experience possible. So that's just where we started. It's where we want to be. We wanted to live right there on that one page. And then we also created our tournament software and the e-scorecards. One thing we do try to do is make it possible. We're not trying to replace scorecards, because we know there are so many people that want to do the scorecards, but we allow you the ability to not spend all your time and money on printing those scorecards, but being able to just print them on a good cardstock when people need it. And we have an app that goes along with our software so that it's a simple, easy to use app. There's no, I don't know, simple's better for me. When you get on the app and you're doing a score, it looks just like a scorecard, works just like a scorecard. There's nothing else to it. It literally is that. And one of the things why we want to push electronic scoring is because of the data that we can collect for you. You guys will own every score that's ever been published at your course, whether they post it to GIN or not. We also have a direct connection with the USGA, so everything that is, when you do score at the end, it does say, do you want to post this directly to your handicap? Yes, no, gets posted directly. They don't have to go back in and repost that either. So you can use this for tournaments. You can use it for everyday play. You can offer that to your members. And then our point of sale system is one that we feel is again, we want to make sure that you're not going anywhere off that tee sheet, and everything you do when it comes down to apparel, golf balls, the tees, anything is all done right through here, and you can create and manage and customize your shop the way you want. You can do it in many different fronts too. You can have as many shops as you want. If you want to use your, you have different courses, you have different facilities, you have a turn, you have whatever it is, you can create it, run it, manage it right from here, and creating that point of sale. We also are the merchant for this as well. So we own everything on the back end. We process it, we run it, and the reporting that you get can work for whomever you report to or helps manage and do all that. So it's very customizable. The reporting is going to be really, really good, and there's going to be a lot of good metrics that you're going to be able to pull from that system. Is there anything that you guys want to ask or address? I know that's, if not, that's who we are. We love golf. We love the opportunity to be partners, and we appreciate the section for letting us be here and have the time. But if you have any questions, my email is nick@membersports.com. Like I said, next month by the November? End of November, we'll have a pickleball/tennis app coming out, and as well as software for that as well that you can actually access directly from the tee sheet, and that'll include your pool reservations if you have a pool and other amenities. Our food and beverage will be launched at the end of this year. That will be a full service food and beverage inventory, reporting, your floor layout management, and your clock in, clock out for your team as well. So appreciate it. Thank you very much for allowing me to be here, and you all have a great day.
All right, thank you very much, Nick. At this time, I'll have Josh come up and give our financial and vice president's report.
I want to start first and foremost by thanking you all for being here today, taking time out of your day job to come and learn about the section and the business. So we appreciate that. I'd also like to extend a sincere thank you to the staff, to the vendors that were here yesterday. For those of you that were able to come, I think it was a huge success. We tried something a little bit different this year, and we appreciate your support, something that I think truly can grow in the future, but we're off to a great start. From a financial update, as you can see in the packet or on your QR codes, we do have some snapshot financials through August in the packet. I will not go through those line by line, but as a general, we are outperforming 2021 from a financial standpoint. I can assure you that the section is in good hands with the staff and the finance committee monitoring the finances of the section. From a cash perspective, we are in a very strong place, probably the strongest that we've been in as long as I've been serving on the board. So good news to report there for sure. I do want to highlight a couple of key notes from the packet here. First and foremost, in uncertain times that we're all dealing with, both at the clubs and financially and looking ahead, good boards, good leadership, they're acting proactively, and I want to assure you that that is what we are doing, and we proved that this year, already putting $66,500 into our reserves account. $16,500 of that was approved at the first board meeting, and the $50,000 from the Kathy Horde donation. So that is great news. Anytime you can put it back into the reserves and keep it for a rainy day fund or for what we need to continue to move the business forward, that is truly good news. The Finance Committee has been tasked this year with coming up with a fully vetted and fully worked out reserves policy in place by the end of the year to continue to put dollars into that reserves account. I know it's not something we talk about too much, but it's something that the membership should be aware of, that we as a finance committee, we as a board, we as a membership are constantly trying to find ways to put back, to reinvest into that fund so that we have it again for a rainy day, or also for initiatives that we think would benefit the membership as a whole and benefit the section. And that's exactly what that reserve fund is there for. So overall, we have good news in the finances of the section. We feel very comfortable heading into 2023. We've already begun the budget process, and I think that we're on a great trend, and I think it's something as a member you should be proud of. So that is all I have. Thank you.
All right. I'm excited to let everybody know that your president's report today will not feature any tears from me nor any news that I'm leaving the section. So we are going to be we're going to be stable at least for another 30 minutes unless somebody else is going to take over. But excited about the business of our section right now. As you can hear from Josh, financially we're in a very strong position, and I think that's a testament to all the hard work that Scott Geary and his team are providing us on a day-to-day level. You know, when we hired Scott, we set him out on some very specific tasks to stabilize us and get us to the point where we are right now. Those included a review of our governance. I'm happy to report that we created a governance committee. Brian Stubbs, Danny, and Phil Berry have been working very hard on all of our documents. We have redone our constitution, bylaws, and we're working on our tournament regulations right now. Foundation bylaws were just voted on at our last board meeting. So our governance as a whole has been under review, and we have been working very hard to update those documents and make them more workable. So very excited about that. We also we're tasking him to update our communication. I think you guys have seen quite a bit of the emails that have been coming out from Scott, just giving you updates on a daily basis or a weekly basis or a monthly basis, just letting you know what's happening around our section. I think it's very important for you guys to be engaged and aware of what's going on at the board level as well as the staff level. Financial stability was a huge part of what we were tasking him to get us to the point of, and as you heard in Joshua's report, that's happened as well. And then obviously a big part of that was the foundation and fundraising. We are really excited about what the future holds for next year. I think now that we do have those buckets stable and the things that we tasked him to get under control, he's going to be able to turn his attention to that, and we'll continue to raise money for our foundation. As far as staff, I think everyone in this room appreciates the people that we have working hard for us. They do a tremendous job at their specialties, and it's to work with them on a day-to-day basis and see the things that they do and get accomplished. So I'd like everybody to give them a round of applause. It's unbelievable the job that they do. Really have at this moment. I'm going to turn it over to Mark VanDyke, our District 13 Director. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. Scott's next. We're going to let Scott go, and then we'll have Mark go. So thank you, everybody, and here you go, Scott.
You know, I want to start off by, if you haven't, scan that QR code. Go check out the reports and do yourself the favor of reading through those. Our committees, one, we created way more committees than we've ever had, and they're as engaged as they've ever been with the section. So although they stand as written and our committee chairs are not giving updates, I strongly encourage you to go and read those and see the good work that's been accomplished so far and that's being worked on. Hopefully everybody grabbed the gifts. We want to thank Dwight and Sherri for the cups, for all of our members, but also those hats. We got more comments about those hats at our events. I mean, they were trying to slip us cash to buy them from us, so we were happy to be able to give those to all of you and really represent the section with those. You know, looking back on yesterday, I was thinking about it last night. It was really a leap of faith. We wanted to try a merch show. We didn't know what it would look like. We didn't know how well it would be attended. We didn't know how many vendors would come. And I think overall, when you looked at it, for those who were there yesterday, it was a tremendous success. I do want to recognize our committee members and our education chair, Russ Riddell. He worked extremely hard along with the staff in making that happen. And we didn't know exactly even how the layout would look. We came and did a site visit, and he's probably going to get embarrassed that I'm talking about this, but Scott Gordon over there channeled his inner childhood dream of being an architect and laid out the entire room that you saw yesterday. So really, really appreciate that and all the hard work that went in. But we ended up with over 32 vendors. We had a wait list of vendors that wanted to get in. So there is that desire to have that show that we had yesterday. And it's not normal. We were nervous. We're not doing an annual meeting at the Pro, which is different for a lot of us. We're trying something different, and it's been successful. But the one thing I'll say is that we still need your help. Everybody I talked to said it was tremendous and it has great legs. We learned a lot. There's things that happened that it wasn't ideal or we've learned from, but we really need every one of your assistants for next year. Tell your fellow professionals, associates, the vendors you do work with to come and be a part of it so we can grow it and it continue to be a staple for our section. Cary mentioned a lot of the good work that's been done already. To give you all an idea, last year we sat down at a planning session and really laid out a business strategy for the year. If you do look at the QR code and look at my report, financials we don't like to see red, and I'm sorry for highlighting it in red, but you go down each point and what we want to accomplish, and we've done that this year. And we're already planning for next year, so extremely excited to mention that. The foundation, I want to give some highlights and some context. We did create some new foundation bylaws, and beginning in 2023, we will now be PGA Reach Georgia. That will be our foundation brand. We did that so that we could align with the umbrella of the PGA of America, but it doesn't change what we're doing and the good work that we're doing. We're focusing on PGA Hope. We're focusing on Junior League, on Drive, Chip, and Putt, on our Junior Tour. We're focusing on the Gene Siller Memorial Grant. Many of you saw, but with the passing of Drew Dunn, his boss, Chad Parker, who may be in the room, reached out and said, "Hey, do you know Drew's story?" I said, "No, I don't." He said he was a caddy. He got involved in golf late in life. He was a caddy, went through the then apprentice program, now associate program, and rose to director of golf at Eastlake Golf Club. Pretty cool. And so Chad said he wants to do something through our foundation that will honor Drew in that sense in his path and his love and passion for junior golf. So the foundation is extremely, extremely strong. She can't be here today, but Haley Estes, if you haven't met her, our foundation manager, she works her tail off and does such a tremendous job. An update with the Gene Siller Memorial Grant. We had another fantastic tournament in his honor at Pine Tree in August. We netted over $95,000 for that grant. We will have a meeting at the end of the year to determine how much we put into his endowment and how much we keep on hand, because Ashley wants to continue to distribute to kids who need it. We gave 6 scholarships away, Gene Siller Memorial Grants, this year, and that was in February. Ashley really wanted to be able to get those dollars out right away, and now we are opening the application up again this October through the end of the year so we can get on a calendar. These kids can know if they've got the dollars, and they can plan their schedules. Staff, Cary said it perfectly, but without all the Georgia PGA staff, we couldn't do this. We mentioned Will was supposed to be here, and as everybody who works in the golf industry knows, sometimes things don't go as planned. So I want to thank all the staff that took my text at 6:30 in the morning saying, uh-oh, and for keeping your weight back, hitting the curveball, and for everything that you guys do. Really, really appreciate it. And overall, I just want to thank all of you. Going back to today or yesterday and taking the chance on the merchandise show, it was also a chance to do the meeting not at the Pro. And we have, I think, over 40 more members in this room at this meeting than we did at the Pro, which shows that this can work. I know October can still be busy, but hopefully if you enjoyed yesterday, if you enjoy this meeting, if you enjoy being a part of this election process that's going to happen, you will share that with your fellow golf professionals. So thank you all for the trust you've put in the Georgia PGA and their staff. We've had a tremendous year, and we're going to continue to climb. And next, I'd like to bring up our District 13 Director, Mark VanDyke. For those who may or may not know, Mark will be rolling off as our district director in November. So let's give him a warm round of applause for his swan song.
Thank you, Scott. And good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Just a little bit about me. If you haven't met me, and I've met many of you in this room, my name's Mark VanDyke. I'm the PGA Director of Golf of the V.O. Meisner Golf and City Club, a brand new Jack Nicklaus signature design course that is just completed in Boca Raton. Prior to that, I spent 26 years at Fort Lauderdale Country Club, serving in every seat in the chapter level and the section level, and now at the national level. And, 3 weeks from now, I will be removed. And I don't know what my PGA path will be after that, but I certainly know I will continue to be involved. It's really, really great to see you all here today in such a nice attendance for your section annual meeting. It tells me that every one of you in this room is engaged. You care about what happens in your association. You care about what happens in your section. And for that, you should all, give yourselves a pat on the back, because you are the future leaders. You're out there. You're out there. Your officers here will identify candidates and tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, come with me. Let's get you involved in a chapter. Let's get you involved in a section. And ultimately, let's get you involved nationally. I was blessed to be able to do that 4 years ago. Running against a mentor of mine, many of you know Warren VanDyke, master professional, who is the PGA modern coach, if you've seen that link that he does. And I'll go over that in a little bit. To be able to serve at this level has been the greatest honor of my PGA professional career, and it could happen to someone in this room too. So think about that as your district director. Election is just 2.5 years away, okay? When I step down, Russ Libby from North Florida section, he is the general manager and owner-operator of Hidden Hills Golf Club in Jacksonville. He will be your new district director, and he is very well rehearsed in PGA national affairs. If you recall, and like Brian does and a few others in the room, Russ ran a couple times as national secretary. He's served on the board of control, and he will serve us well in District 13. It was great talking to everybody last night with the officers and Scott over dinner about, your standalone event here. Separating it from the Pro is something different. Change is a pretty big deal. I will tell you this, in South Florida about 12, 14 years ago, we had our section championship and our annual meeting combined, just like similar what you do with your Pro. Delays in the tournament, lightning, all that stuff really screwed up the meeting. It really did. People would show up in their golf pro clothes. They wouldn't have time to shower, get on their coat and ties. So we started a standalone meeting, and what we found was people that didn't play were coming and attending. It wasn't just for the players, it was for everybody. And for that, it's been great ever since. Unfortunately, the last couple of years with COVID, we've been having to do it virtually. In fact, we just did it virtually again, even though I pressed for a in-person meeting, because there's nothing more important to me than engaging face-to-face. You could do whatever you want on the screen. You could have triple the attendance on the screen, but at the end of the day, it's all about relationships. It's all about partnerships with JDX, MemberSports, and all that. So you keep pushing for live meetings. You obviously are doing it. North Florida's doing it, and I'm going to keep kicking Jeff Lofstead, our executive director, and the officers down there to do the same what you all are doing. I was going to give a brief state of national affairs since the last time I spoke to you all in December, but I've been told since Will Robbins couldn't be here, and I wish he was here because I would have loved to heard from him too, that I got some extra time. So what I'm going to do is expand a little bit of what's going on in national affairs, give you an opportunity to speak to me if you wish at the end, and obviously I'll answer the question as best as I can. If I can't, I certainly will get the answer from you, from a fellow board member, staff, or certainly the officers or the CEO, Sith Wall. Okay, so PGA Frisco. Let's start with PGA Frisco, our $45 million investment. All right, the headquarters opened on Monday, August 22nd. I was fortunate enough to be there. It was a fantastic opening. We had live music. We had Jerry Jones of the Cowboys, and many Cowboy greats were there. Tony Dorsett was there. Drew Pearson was there. Ed Too Tall Jones. I mean, it was a festival like no other. Of course, the mayor of Frisco and everybody there who was involved in the project from Omni and PGA of America, all there. It was a huge event. and it's a very, very special room. Has anybody here in this room been able to go to Frisco HQ yet? Raise your hand if you have. All right. I know you have to be. You all, the meeting next year, the annual meeting in 2023, in November 2023, will be in Frisco. It's a Wednesday and a Thursday. I understand it's in the middle of the week. It's somewhat in season. I understand that. But if you have the opportunity to go to PGA Frisco next year for the meeting, it's a great opportunity to see HQ and see what has truly evolved there. We have a dance floor we call the 75,000 square foot putting surface, if you could believe it, 75,000 square feet. That basically goes from the member range tee all the way down to where the Omni Frisco Hotel is going to be. We have a lighted par 3 course called the Swing, where you can basically play the whole course with a putter. So it doesn't, it's for everybody. We tried to do everything here for every single person, whether you're holding a club for the first time or you're a club pro like ourselves who would just enjoy it. We have an area, it's going to be called Birdie Town. It's going to be shops, restaurants, bars. It's going to be Top Golf. It's going to be all things golf. It's going to be similar to like a city place, if you will, right in the heart of where PGA HQ is going to be. That's all coming online along with the hotel, the Omni Frisco Hotel, 550 rooms that will come online here in the spring of 2023. The 2 golf courses, the East Course, obviously, is the championship course by Gil Hans. The West Course is a great 18-hole test by Bo Willens. I think that's most of the resort guests will play. Quite honestly, there are a couple holes on the East Course by Gil Hans that are just not playable for the average golfer. One of the par 3s, I actually stood on it, is just about 292 yards. I think it's a par 3 hole. I mean, they could do that. They're not going to do it. I hope Cary Hague doesn't do that to the PGA Championship, but it can be done if it needs to be done. It's the type of design that Gil Hans is created. But it's beautiful. The course is playable. A handful of rounds have been played. I wish I've played it, but I haven't. But we're going to open it at the same time as Omni Hotel opens. And when that happens this spring, it's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be a place where each and every one of you are going to want to go to your facility members and say, hey, let's get together for a 3-day trip down to PGA Frisco. You're going to go there, and you're going to take 15 members and a pro, and you're going to stay at the Omni, and you're going to enjoy 2 or 3 days of golf, and you're going to show your members at your facility, your golfers at your facility, what PGA of America is all about in that HQ building. And you take a sense of pride where your hair stands up on your skin, and you sit there and go, wow, and I'm a part of this. That's how I felt the first time I walked into PGA Frisco. And you will too, I promise you. Plus, it shows the value of us as a PGA pro, and I'll get into that a little bit later in my report. In order to brand PGA Frisco, it was really important that we work together with the Omni Hotel, who basically, the Omni partners own the golf course. We manage it. We own HQ. There is a misconception that we own the golf courses. We do not. We manage them. Okay, but they are not going to stand in our way. They trust us. We are the experts in the game. We're in the process of hiring a general manager as well as director of golf and everybody else that falls underneath there. So it was really important that Chief Membership Officer, his name's John Easterbrook, and Chief Commercial Officer Jeff Price spent countless hours negotiating with the Omni owners with regards to our logo. So we finally fell on a logo called Fields Ranch at PGA Frisco. This allows us to say PGA prominently. We originally wanted just PGA Frisco, but they wanted to throw the Fields family in there. So Fields Ranch at PGA Frisco, but PGA are the 3 biggest letters, and we settled for that because it was that or we were going to have to go back to the drawing board. Most importantly, the letters PGA are there. Initially, the initial plan for here is to make it like a house of brands where it's PGA at Fields, right? And then you've got the Omni, Fields Club, PGA North section office is right down the street, literally 100 yards from HQ, and then our title sponsor. Very much like Disney World, where you see Walt Disney World, Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Animal Kingdom, MGM Studios. That type of brand is what we're trying to achieve at PGA Frisco. We will be having the 2023 KitchenAid Senior PGA Championship next year. That will take place. The 2024 KPMG Women's PGA will take place there. the 2027 PGA Championship, all on the East Course. All right, so we got 3 of our major championships coming up there within the next 5 years, which is really, really exciting. Switching gears, I want to update you all on our PGA regional model. About 6-8 months ago, the board approved the regional model that was collaborated with staff, all the committees, executive directors to create initial rollout to have a little bit more alignment on where we wanted to structure our biggest challenges in our association. And quite honestly, our biggest challenges, and we've known this since the GG&A report came out 1.5 years ago, that it is work-life balance, compensation, recruitment, and retention. Specifically, recruitment and retention is being addressed in the PGA regional model, as well as executive search and career services. I am the co-chair of the employment committee, so I like the fact that it's more structured about recruitment. I like the fact that we're going to be looking at, putting more boots on the ground with more career consultants, more recruiting specialists, and we go through that. But as we go through this, any feedback from the sections as we keep going through this, because this is still working in real time, it's going to be really, really welcomed in the boardroom, because we're only going to strengthen this model. I was talking, last night with Lauren, and she's just telling me about, how she's very happy with the way the regional model is working. I think Doug and Don would say the same thing too. But the key here is this is a high investment to make you, the PGA member, better, period. All right, this is all about making you better and engaging, not just at a regional level, but at a section level as well. So region section is a lot better than trying to do national right to the section. So we feel that this is going to bridge that gap between national and sections. Just to give you a quick example, we have had over 2,100 leads in 49 events in the recruiting efforts, over the last couple of months or since the beginning of the year. But I will tell you, we need a lot more of this going on, which means we need a lot more people helping. And we are going to do everything we can at the board level to get more staff for the regional model. Budgeting process is coming up, and there's a lot of big asks at this next coming board meeting at the annual meeting in Phoenix. And I will tell you, from the employment standpoint, we are all guns blazing for what we need to do in career services and recruiting for sure. As every single person in that boardroom agrees that recruitment, retention, compensation, and work-life balance are the 3 major challenges of our association, and everything else takes a back seat. Just to let you know, that's where we're at. Deferred compensation. We are moving ahead in the next steps of this game changer for our association and our members. Deferred compensation started as an ideal about 3 years ago, and we are now in a position to have testing technology to monitor the program and publish the guidelines soon. And hopefully we're going to have a very good report from our CEO, Seth Waugh, at the annual meeting here in just 3 weeks. Currently, we do have 7 staff managers, 2 project managers, and a couple subgroups working on this to get it going. We've already identified AIG to be our plan administrator, and the plan is to have PGA members, you all have the ability to register for this sometime in January. And this is how it works. You're going to earn points based on doing the PGA programs, whether you do a Hope event, whether you do Junior League, whether you do PGA, all this other stuff, PGA Works, and you're involved in all that stuff. Anything that you're currently doing with your section tiering right now, that goes right to you, the individual member. I would say the easiest one would be saying Hope programs and then running 3 or 4 Junior League teams. You are going to get points that are going to be used as dollars, and you will be able to start earning income off of that and see that grow just like you would any other fund. The plan would be to, again, points starting in April, close the year in March of 2024, and the funding would go out 60 days thereafter that. So that's the timeline. That's the plan for deferred compensation. Again, a big game changer. Not for somebody like myself. I've been in the business now for 27 years. It's not going to benefit me as much as it's going to benefit somebody who's just got their membership, who's 25, who's going to do it for 30 years. It's going to be a significant benefit to you. and it's something that we can do without infringing on inurement. For those of you that do not know, we did sell Valhalla a few months ago. We closed it to a group of members there that is well capitalized, and they care about the PGA of America. With PGA Frisco coming online and a 50-year lease agreement there, we felt as a board that we did not need to own Valhalla as well, and it was at the peak time to sell. The monies that we earned from that sell do go into programs like deferred compensation, okay? And that's what we're doing with those monies. I will share with you this. I know it's Kentucky section, this is Georgia section, but you all, if you hear anything about Valhalla and the new partners, I will assure you that they are not getting rid of any of the member benefits that we had prior to the sale. Everything you had, the access to the course and all that, is still going to be there. The 2024 PGA Championship is going to be there, and it's already sold out. So nothing's really changed. The final sale included again, includes our current existing benefits. Moving on to PGA Reach. In a phrase, we are growth focused. We are looking to raise $100 million over the next 5 years. We are currently a little over 35 million right now, with a goal to get to $50 million by the end of the year. PGA Hope now has 7,000 veterans in 215 locations. Our hope is to get to 10,000 veterans touched by 2023. How many of you in this room have done a PGA Hope program at your facility? All right, very good, very good. It's very, very humbling to have a PGA Hope program at your facility. You know, and the fact of the matter is, we need a lot of people out there to raise their hand and volunteer their time to do this. I mean, it's such a big difference in what you do to these people's lives. You know, give them something to look forward to each day. As you all know, as they suffer from post-traumatic, stuff from the war and all that. It's really, really important that we get involved and keep these people going, because golf does give them an outlet and give them something to smile about. And they're awesome, and they love it when they're doing it. You could actually, be quite honest with you, if you're willing to travel around your section, make a living off of being a Hope instructor. How cool would that be? Just that's all you do is just help people, help your vets as a Hope instructor. I think that'd be awesome. PGA Junior League had 65,000 kids back in 2021. We're at over 70,000 now, and over 4,300 junior programs. PGA Pro's financial impact here this year was over $16 million, and the total facility spend is at $240 million, which are both all-time highs in PGA Junior League. So that gives you the idea of the value of the PGA professional to the facility, and that leads me into my next conversation. It's really, really important, and as the chairman of the employment committee, it's really important that the value of the PGA member is heard loud and clear by the owners, operators, board members, whoever the stakeholders are at those facilities. Unfortunately, we're seeing times where we've been working harder with the pandemic. Now that we're getting back to regular time, and I'll go over some stats here in a little bit, that things are starting to live off a little bit. We're still very busy at all our facilities, but yet our owners and operators don't see that. They don't see the value that we have brought in to them with respect to revenue. All these people playing golf, you get them to stick around and have a drink. Oh, let's have a lunch. Let's have another drink. Let's have them dessert. Hey, well, let's go back out and play 9 holes. That's all because of us. That isn't because they're going to just do it. They came there just to play 18 holes. We are making sure that they enjoy their day there, and if they want to keep spending, they keep spending, and we are a big part of that. But yet, some of us are unfortunately spinning our wheels to the point where we're burning out, and we actually consider getting out of business. Considering getting out of something we're passionate about. How awful is that? It's awful. I mean, I'm never going to get out of the business regardless, but there are people out there because they're just like, I'm working so hard and I'm not making the money I need to be making. My time's too far away from my family. I'm disconnected with my kids now, and those are all good reasons. But there's a way to talk to your owners and operators, and it's up to us, the PGA sections, PGA National, to create seminars, to create opportunities to bring your owners and operators to an arena like this and have this conversation with national board members up here and explain to all your people the importance of the MVP of the PGA professional, because the PGA professional truly, in my mind, is the MVP of the facility. And I think not one person in this building that doesn't think that way either. So it's really important that we get there and get them to be educated and get them to understand and get them to deliver what's important. Your livelihood. Stop working for 60% of what you're supposed to be making. Let's get you to where you need to be making. And that is my goal, and that is my wish to you all as the employment chair. Okay? And hopefully I'll be on the chair for another 2 more years if incoming President John Leonard will have me. Couple potpourri items just to give you an idea of some numbers. Rounds just for the last 90 days are down 11% nationwide. What's that tell us? That tell us is things are starting to slow down. Unfortunately, the market hasn't been good. What else does that tell us? If we're on the possibility of a recession, what's going to happen? People are going to stop discretionary spending, and golf is probably on top of that list. So how do we handle that? We need to know how to manage that. We need to get ahead of that curve now before it's too late. Okay? These are the things we're talking about in the boardroom. ADM certifications is now at a 745, with 83 of them modern coaches. Like I mentioned earlier, one of my mentors, Warren VanDyke. If you've seen that video he's doing, it's fantastic. It's a way to make a really good living just by being the modern coach. You know, PGA.com has seen over $4 million on leads from PGA Coach, $11 million since inception. In fact, I will tell you, one member is actually making over $15,000 a month off PGA Coach. I don't know who he is or she is, but I'd love to meet him. $15,000 a month. That is outstanding. So there's the opportunity. This is when somebody says, what's the PGA do for me besides give me a magazine? Guess what? This is what the PGA does for you. Get ADM certified. Create your page. Create your brand. Go out there and pound the pavement and get people to come out and get those 3 or 4 base students to start telling their friends who tell their friends, and that's how it starts growing, and you all know that. So it's really important that those that are thinking about getting out of business, take a look at something like that as an alternative. Because I'll be quite honest with you, if I'm burnt out from being a director of golf or general manager for the last 10 years, and maybe I just want to get back to teaching. Yeah, I might make a little less money, but I'm still going to be passionate about being a golf pro. And that's what it's all about. PGA of America's Chief Operating Officer update. Just to let you know, the board has asked that Frida Partners Consulting Group, along with Seth Wall, our CEO, and a comp committee, take a look at getting our next Chief Operating Officer. There was a point where when we lost our COO a couple years ago, we made some adjustments. We made a couple promotions, but the board feels that a COO that is at Frisco 24/7 is necessary. It's necessary that we have a COO on operations. Seth Wall is a fantastic CEO, but he can't be at 2 places at the same time. Can't do it. So we're looking for a COO to work in Frisco full-time to make sure that individual oversees the chiefs, the senior directors, and everyone else in between. As I stated before, the 2024 PGA Championship is sold out. So is the one coming up in Oak Hill in 2023. KPMG Women's PGA Purse doubled, as you all know, and had record viewing at Congressional this past June. And Make Golf Your Thing, which is a collaborative social media effort with all the other alliances, has doubled in the last year. Lastly, I want to talk about, as far as the potpourri items, ExecuSearch. ExecuSearch is up 135% in search revenue, over $850,000 this year. That's way more than any other year. This past June was our largest month ever for ExecuSearch. The career consultants and regional directors working together. Don Sweeney, thank you for all you do as a regional director and a career consultant. Don actually came down to South Florida and helped on a couple searches, or at least one search that I know of, for our career consultant. Her name's Kathy Grayson. She actually had a situation where she was in 8 searches at one time. Now you understand the need for our career consultants to have some help. Our career consultants cannot be guidance counselors if they're spending all their time in doing ExecuSearch, trying to get PGA members into these great spots. So this is the ask that we're doing through the regional model. We've recommended, again, that the career consultants themselves get some kind of a form of increase in compensation. just like golf pros, they're going to burn out too. And when they burn out too, what are they going to do? They're going to go do something else. And we cannot afford to lose our all-star career consultants. They're all fantastic, and it's really important that we keep them and we take care of them. And that is on the docket as well this November. Let's talk about Live. Okay. Oh, is that funny? No. It's actually going to be next week in Doral in my section. I've been invited by 10, 20 people. Hey, you going to go? Are you going to go? Do you want to go? I said, I can't. I got something going on. I'm working. I'm doing this. I won't be attending, just to let you know. It's not because I'm not a golf fan. It's because I don't think it's what they're doing is right for the game. They are messing with our current ecosystem. I mean, our game of golf is the traditional game where you play for what you play and you make what you make. You know, we at the PGA of America, as well as the PGA Tour and the DP European Tour, you know, we best support the mission of what we do to work hard every day to grow the game. You know, the purse money is a real threat. The guaranteed money to take players to that tour is a real threat. These are things we got to address, especially with the budget process. I mean, we got to probably find another $5 or $6 million in the budget this year to get our PGA Championship up to $21 million. We're going to have to do that. I read a great article too about maybe the majors should freeze their purses because it's about the tournament more than it is about the money. You know, and that would be, if they did that, that would certainly help PGA Championship. But it's just discussion. Speaking of the PGA Championship, there is no doubt that a lot will unfold between now and May in Oak Hill. We will be seeing what Augusta National. You know, we'll keep a close eye on that. Everybody here's next September. We are holding to our tight, firm PGA member to play on the Ryder Cup team. These tour players must be in A3. Beyond that, I cannot speculate what's going to happen, but that is our message to you all. If anyone asks you, you must be a PGA Class A member to play in the Ryder Cup. I don't know how much Ian affected you all here, but as you know, in my section, Southwest chapter pretty much got devastated. I was so proud of the board getting together literally on an email message that took no more than 15 minutes to make sure that disaster relief money got to those people in need immediately, starting at buckets of $4,000 and then a second bucket to $9,000. This is one of our greatest things that we can do for our PGA members is to be able to help them in their time of need. And when you pay your dues every year, there's always that option to volunteer money in the disaster relief. Think about who you are. Think about what those people are going through next time. Even if you put in $10 or $20 extra, if everybody did that, that's an extra $600,000-$700,000 in that pool. All right. We have pros down there that aren't going to go back to their facilities. We have pros that have lost their homes. You know, we have pros that can't even get to their home, you know, in some cases. So it's really important that we, as an association, support our fellow members and associates through this disaster relief program. Moving on to the annual meeting in Phoenix, November 1st through the 4th. And just so you know, there is a secretary election, but if you've been following it, it started with 3 candidates, and now there's only 1 candidate. The other 2 candidates, unfortunately, dropped. So Nathan Carnes from the Gateway section is the last candidate running. Now, when it comes time to the election, there could be somebody, there is rights for a candidate to run for the floor. That could happen. We don't think it's going to happen, but it could. Otherwise, he will just go in through acclamation, just like John Lindert will go as incoming president, John Lindert, and then incoming vice president, Don Ray. So we'll have a secretary election. We also have 2 resolutions that are going to be discussed by the national delegates. And so you all know 41 sections have 2 national delegates, typically the president and vice president. So that's 84 votes. And then there's 14 district directors, and then there's 3 more independent directors, and then there's an at-large director, and then the officers. So there's 22 plus the 84 plus the past presidents. That's who votes on national affairs, national resolutions. 2/3 majority is required. And resolution number 1 is going to come from the membership committee, and that is going to be a proposal to add verbiage to who we are as a membership. Okay? We currently just say name and purpose only of what we do. We're going to add a 3rd piece for inclusion. The board, the membership committee recommended it. The board's recommending it. The delegates, it's going to be up to the delegates to see it pass through. It's important that this happens, in my opinion, because it makes sure everybody in the world gets an opportunity to be a PGA member. Okay? Resolution number 2 is going to be an opportunity for the delegation to vote for combined 18 holes score PAT regulation. Okay? Coming from the membership committee, how many times did you shoot a 74 and then you shot an 87 and then pass the PAT? People have done that a lot, quite honestly. And this resolution, if passed, will we allow a member or a future member to take one good score and then play in another PAT and combine it with another score to pass the PAT. Again, we don't want to lower the standards, but we want to ease the barrier. So I see some people looking at it because I didn't do it that way either. I passed 36 holes in one day. I get it. But I can't tell you how important it is that individuals find out what we do and then they decide they don't want to be golf pros. So we've already allowed them, of course, if you played in college and you don't have to take a PAT if you shot 4 under in 2 rounds. Why would you? Would you agree with that one? You agree with that, right? We know that there's a lot of people in our business that are all-stars at working at your facility, and they want to be a golf pro, and they can't because they can't pass their PAT. But if they could shoot a 74 one day, and then later on in the next PAT shoot another 77 or 75, the membership committee felt, and the board can't vote on it. That's why we're taking it to the delegation. So it's going to be up to the sections. Because let's face it, the section delegates are 84 of the votes, 84 of the basically 117 votes. And you got to have 2/3 majority. So we're going to have that discussion. It'll be a heavy one in Phoenix. And we even take a straw pro the day before just to get a feel on how it is. Maybe we put it back in a box. Who knows? But I know it's going to come up. I just want to let you know, last but not least, and I'm sorry I was on the phone I'm on the mic for so long. I love the PGA of America more than anything in the world. Besides my faith, my family, and my dear friends, it's all about the PGA of America for me. And it's truly been I've been blessed and honored to serve as your district director. And I look forward to seeing you sometime down the road somewhere. Thank you so much for the time today. Thank you.
There's people that wear their service on the surface, and Mark is definitely not one of those. It's definitely in his heart. You can tell how much he loves our association, and he's going to be sorely missed, and we appreciate everything you've done for us and for the district. He's always so insightful, and we love listening to him talk. So we are going to take a 10-minute break. Well, actually, let's be back in the room at 10:15, okay?
All right. I believe my dear friend Matthew Barnes. Matthew, are you in the room? All right, Matthew, would you like to come on up and let me brag and embarrass Matthew? Most of us know him in the room with Signature Travel. Matthew is also the 1980 and 1981 Coosa Country Club Junior Club champion. Thank you.
I will never, ever live that down. Anyway, it's a great golf course. Had a great time. Listen, I appreciate having the time to speak. We're going to show a little video here in just a minute. To give you an idea of where we stand as a sponsor in the Georgia section, we had an investment this year, we do every year, of a certain amount of money, and I can tell you with the trips that Brian and some of the other guys have taken, Michael Assey, we have far exceeded what our investment are. So we're giving money back to the section after a pretty tough couple of years of travel with COVID, and it's just going to steamroll from there. To give you an idea, and I think I've spoke to this before, we've collected over $16,000 for 2 different sections that we sponsor. We're well on our way. That with the Georgia section is going to just keep on steamrolling with people like Cary traveling with us. Pamela Shelley, we're putting some trips together. Ryan Joyce has been a big supporter as well. It's just something that we give back. So if you take, again, if you take 7 people on a trip, your trip's going to be free. We're going to pay you a 3% commission, plus we're going to pay you pay the section $100 for an international trip and $50 for a domestic trip. So somebody like Michael Assey, who took 16 people to Ireland last year, plus he sponsored another trip of 14 or 4 guys, he collected over $1,900 for the section. That's just one golf professional. If we did that 20 times around this section, we would be making a lot of money for the section. So I'm from this section. I've got my membership here. I'm still a PGA member. I am really invested in the Georgia section, and I am here to help. So just reach out to me on the tables. We have our commission schedule and how you can get paid, incentives, what have you. So please take one home with you today. Please give me a call, and let's go ahead and play with the video.
PGA professionals, it is our pleasure at Signature Golf to kickstart a new travel program at your club, or even help grow your current travel program with more offerings than ever before. Golf and country clubs who travel with their members create camaraderie and longevity in the golf associations and memberships at their clubs. You'll find yourself and your favorite members booking trips for years to come, and we recommend booking those trips in advance. Right now, to encourage you to be thinking about your club's future tee times and your program growth, your members can book any international trip for 2024 for $0 down. Most of the sought-after destinations are starting to sell out for 2023. So, if you're hoping to get an inquiry in, let your regional director know right away, and we will get to work on securing the best possible times for you and your group next year. It's the perfect time to dive right into international travel with a trip to the 2023 Open Championship being hosted this year at the Royal Liverpool Golf Club. Signature Golf is your authorized hospitality tour operator for Saturday and Sunday at the Open. These trips fill up fast. Make sure to book today. Trending in 2024 are locations less traveled before, and golf courses beckoning for new challengers in the heart of untraveled paradises the world over. Our featured location for your next epic golf trip is none other than South Africa, where you will experience the best of their garden and wine route, playing stunning links courses, touring wineries, and even taking a wild luxury safari while taking in the best of South Africa. We have many of our repeat clients trying out domestic locations in 2023 and 2024 as well, taking one trip overseas and doing one trip domestically each year. We definitely encourage this. This is by far the best way to grow a golf travel program that you've already started at your club and are looking to take to the next level. To get started on your next trip, just contact your Signature Golf Regional Director and we will get started creating the perfect trip and proposal for you and your members.
Okay, thank you again. Please contact me. We'd love to plan a trip for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Matthew, and I love embarrassing you like that. But in all seriousness, Matthew and his team do unbelievable jobs. I know my members at my club have been traveling with Matthew and his team for many, many years now, and it is 5-star all the way around. We're going to have Don Sweeting come up.
I'll be brief because I have a small amount of time, but I did want to talk a little bit about recruiting and actually clarify or address the question that we had earlier that Mark answered. You know, that was a question that was really posed of the leaders in the room, and the clarity was, you know, if you had to do it all over again, would you be a PGA member or be in this business? And I think what it goes back to is that we all need to be positive. If you think about how you got attracted to this business, whether it be golf or parts of it or having a servant's heart and really wanting to serve members and see smiles on their faces after it's a lesson or a special event at your club, I think we need to be positive in how we talk about that business and still draw people into the business because they love it just like you do. You know, if it's not something you want to do, then give me a call and we need to talk about that. But I think that was really the beginning of that conversation and what was happening. Because if you think about how you were recruited into the business, I bet it was through a PGA professional. And that's why we all love the game. So please keep that in mind. If we're going to continue to do a good job recruiting, you know, we have 4 recruiters on our team that Mark talked about. We are going to grow to 7. We are going to have one for the Southeast, which is great news. That'll help us on some local job fairs and all the college events they can go to continue to create that awareness and draw people into the golf industry, into all the possibilities there is, not just the traditional career path that most of us in the room went through, including myself, assistant golf professional, all the way up through general manager. So just a little clarification on that point earlier. Let's make sure we're positive for our recruiting. The executive directors will have a list of those recruiters. They have applied, so interviews for the Southeast will start in a couple of weeks. And I know the other 2, the Atlantic region and North Central, they'll have their recruiters coming up too here shortly. So I wanted to give you a little bit of an update on recruiting. And while I have one more minute, maybe it looks like, I can't stress enough, like we talked about yesterday, the compensation survey. We really use that to help you better your position with your employers. And along with the coaching we provide on how you do your annual review and how you ask for that, please call me before you approach your boss or your owner, operator, whoever you report to in that area, so that we can do a little bit better. We have some great compensation information data now, and for those that haven't done it, I know everyone in this room's done their comp survey, but if you know others that haven't, which isn't too many, Georgia's actually in the top 10. Actually, we were 3rd at one point with participation, which is great, thanks to Scott Geary and the team that put that word out. And that information is so valuable because it allows us to drill down into greater detail. I've had some members call me recently from the public sector, so we're able to separate, you know, private and public, and of course the job titles, whether it's head professional, director of golf, general manager. We are a little shy in your assistant golf professionals, so I know there aren't very many in the room other than the Dan tables, and yes, I'm going to say it again for you to reiterate to your assistants. We need more assistant golf professionals to complete that compensation survey, because we really can't drill down quite as much into the private and public sector. We need more data in order to do that. So if you call me, we can create a custom report for your particular facility. If you'll give me some information, maybe even up to 12 to 20 facilities that are like yours that you'd like to see. Because it's a confidential survey, obviously I can't access those 12 to 20, but we do have our data specialists that can pull it. They'll send it to me. We'll put it in a nice format for you, and then we'll talk about it, and we can coach you through that process. I'm sure I'm going to be asking you about what your reporting looks like to your employers, whether you're doing that monthly or quarterly, whether it's a golf committee or how that looks, because what I want you to use is really all the services that you provide in order to ask for that raise or talk about compensation. It's really not just the number. It's about what you do, which Mark has so much passion for as being a PGA member. It's the services you're providing. And frankly, if there wasn't a PGA professional in those locations, in those spots, you know, those facilities wouldn't be as successful. So compensation really important there. The other thing, Doug's going to come up here at the next break that we have. Doug Wert, we really want to use what Doug does in player engagement to earn you more money. And he's got some great stats on that and how that works. So if you can add that to what you're doing, I can use that too in your monthly reporting or your annual review. All the new programs you've done and what that's done for your membership and the ancillary revenue that it produces. Once again, Mark talked about that in some of those areas. So please give me a call. My information is right on the Georgia website under the employment tab. You can contact me via email, call me, however you'd like to. All my contact information is there. And we'll look forward to hearing from Doug in a few minutes. I'll turn it over to your past president. Thank you.
Thank you, Don. We'll bring up Doug Wert from the PGA.
Good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Before I start talking about player engagement, I just want to let Matthew Barnes know that I've got one up on him. I actually won 4 tournaments as a junior in my church golf league. And I won so many times, my pastor was told by a number of the adult men that played in the league that we needed an age requirement. So got one up on you, Matthew. I also wanted to start by introducing a teammate of mine that's here today from Player Engagement. Lauren Court is in the room here. Lauren is the player engagement consultant for North and South Florida and is part of our new Southeast region. And Lauren and I work together with the career consultants now in our region to help you with player engagement as well as those things in your employment as well. Make sure this works. Good? Okay, thank you. So first thing I wanted to just share with you is how we did this year in participation with PGA Junior League. You can see by the numbers there that things were really well done this year in our section with Georgia as well as nationally. We had a national record this year of over 70,000 players, over 2,000 players here in the Georgia section, which was an increase in players as well. The one thing I want to stress here is the fee that you see going to coaches. We've seen an increase with this over the number of years that PGA Junior League has been in place. The average across the country last year, this year in 2022 was $233 per player for each coach, and what was great to see was here in Georgia, that was higher. That was $264 per player for each coach. And you think about that, you have 40 players in a program, that's over $10,000 of revenue going into the coach's pocket. This is just registration revenue. This is not additional revenue generated at the facilities, which that happens as well. And this year we introduced the new Game Changer Club, which was an opportunity for parents to join the Game Changer Club, a one-time fee that they pay $99 throughout the season. That covered them for the entire year. So every time they participated in an additional program, they didn't have to pay an additional fee. And so because of that, I think that's been a big part of the increase to the numbers that we've seen participating in PGA Junior League. And then the other thing I want to make sure that all of you understand is that part of the Game Changer fee comes back to the sections. The sections get paid a fee per player, $12 per player comes back to the sections, plus an additional amount of money based upon the number of players that participate in the postseason aspect of PGA Junior League. So just so you understand, the Georgia section this year saw over $42,000 in revenue that came back to the section because of those of you that have participated in PGA Junior League and the number of players we have seen. So I want to make sure everybody understood it. We talked about that on the board call this week, and several board members shared with me, I didn't know that. So I want to make sure you knew that was a big part of what we do to help support sections in PGA Junior League. But what I really want to talk today is about some of the myths about PGA player engagement today. And so the first one I wanted to cover, golf demand is up, so we don't need to do specific programs to engage our consumers at our facility. And I just have to say, sorry, myth busted. Myth busted, okay? So when we look at how things went this year, according to the National Golf Foundation, golf is in a boom, and we all know this. Golf is in a boom because of COVID, not a change in strategy to grow the game. Meaning we got lucky, okay? And we got lucky because of COVID, unfortunately, which was an unfortunate thing. But when I look at things, I don't see luck as a sustainable strategy. And one of the things that concerns us is that 3.2 million people played on a course for the first time in 2021. First-time golfers. And the net growth from that was only 300,000 golfers, meaning we lost 2.9 golfers in this past year. And why? You know, that's one of the things that we want to figure out and engagement. You know, the majority of growth that we golf in 2021 golfers, but also at private clubs, but mostly first-time golfers and additional rounds played. So the majority of growth was rounds played. So we need to retain and elevate the new COVID golfers. Otherwise, you know, we'll be back in a pre-COVID market with a lost opportunity, which is, you know, for me, it means we need to act now, and I need to help you more in making sure that we're retaining those golfers and getting them to the point to where they're more active at your facilities, and that we get those new golfers involved and them become advocates for all of us in the game. So my second myth is that, you know, golfers that we serve, you know, that I serve here. I'm sorry, did it go to a different slide? I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. The programs that serve kids and the pricing of things that we have in the programs to attract people, and that they need to be cheaper to attract people. Myth busted. Sorry. You know, all told, the typical parent spends about $693 per year per child on youth sports. That's according to a 2021 survey by Project Play. Those that participate in elite programs, we're seeing parents spending $12,000 per year or more, with the bulk of the money going towards travel and team fees. And so, you know, we want you to understand that in PGA Junior League, we've talked about it throughout the number of years I've been on this team and worked with professionals who host PGA Junior League, that we want you to work harder to increase your fees so that you get the value out of it, what you're doing and what you're putting into it. We want you to get paid, you know, by what you put into it, and as the growth of the game comes into it, and all of our growth of the games, the products that we have to help you with. You know, and the other thing I hear people talk a lot about too is concern of time to do this. I understand you're short on staff. You've got a lot of extra play going on. I know that's really tough right now. And, you know, one of the great things about PGA Junior League, one of our programs and a number of other of our products that we have, is that parents can get involved and help you with these. The most successful programs that I've seen in the country and in my sections that I've served are the ones that the parents are involved and help with the time aspect of things. You know, they can register as assistant coaches for you in your PGA Junior League. You can choose which parent you want to be involved with PGA Junior League, and they can help you. Think of the Little League baseball model, all the Little League sports. Who's coaching those? It's our parents that are doing that. So they can help you with the matches. You handle the instruction. You're the expert in the instruction when it comes to teaching our kids the game. Get the parents to help you with the other aspects of PGA Junior League so it's successful for you. I just wanted to cover one final myth for you today. I had 4 up there, but this one is, I feel, the most important for you as well as for me and all of us that serve you. And that, you know, that myth is that you only need to contact me for PGA Junior League, PGA Family Cup, whatever that might be. And in the past, yes, that was true as a regional league manager, but now as a player engagement consultant and working in partnership with our career consultants in the regional model, you know, we are at the same level with the career consultants, and we're here to help you alongside with them with everything that you do in your facilities to help you create that more value. But I'm here to help you with a full suite of products. A full suite of products that we now have in player engagement to help you create more value for you and your facility. And even though you see an ideal succession plan there for a junior golfer, from everywhere from drive, chip, and putt to our family cup, I want you to think of this as a menu of products. as well. A menu of products that you can choose from that best suits you and your facility and best fits your facility in different ways that you can create value at your facility. And, you know, one of the things I want to stress is this menu starts with ADM, with the American Development Model, and with PGA.coach. And you can see there, you know, in the slide that it supports everything that we do in player engagement. So, you know, first step is to take a look, especially over the winter here when you have time, you know, to get ADM certified, complete PGA.coach, and start your journey with that. But, you know, no need to do all of those products. It's just best to find what fits you best, and I'm here to help you grow your business with that, you know, as well as you get involved with these products now, it's going to help you with the deferred compensation program, because that's going to be tied to some of these programs as well on some of these products. And I just want to share, you know, I definitely agree that recruitment and employment is very important today. And we as player engagement consultants know that, and we are here to help alongside the career consultants with that. You know, and we're in place to work with them in this, especially in the new regional model, as well as helping generate extra compensation for you and your assistants to help make those positions more attractive for you and help you recruit more assistant professionals and those that are working for you. And we want to help create those revenue opportunities for you and your team. And just to share one quick story about that, I want to ask President Brown to come up and share something with me he shared yesterday about his assistants and what it's done for them.
Well, I'll just stay right here. I mean, we talk about work-life balance constantly these days. It seems to be our number one mantra in our association, and recruitment, and how we're going to continue to get associates to come work at our facilities, and how we're going to provide them opportunities. A lot of us who are in the private club side, we know that work-life balance is a tough thing to do, because we have a budget that is based off of a dues number, and that number is what we divide up through the year to figure out how we're going to do our programming, and there's not a whole lot of wiggle room there, right? So programming is very important for us to be able to give our assistants and associates opportunity to make more money than what our budget allows. The budget is the budget. We don't have a whole lot of wiggle room. My assistant doing PGA Junior League basically gave himself a $15,000 a year raise just off of Junior League. And so it's a very successful program. And when you're just looking at somebody and saying, okay, this is going to get you out from behind the counter, it's going to get you on the golf course, it's going to get you playing golf, it's going to get you engaged with your juniors, it's going to spill over into your private lessons, it's going to spill over into all those other areas that they're working at the club. To me, that's a very good opportunity for us, especially on the private side, to be able to provide a little bit of some work-life balance on the compensation side, getting them outside, getting them away from that phone and the counter, which is so heavy for a lot of our assistants when they're working in this industry. But, you know, really get your guys involved with these programs. PGA Coach, too. God, I wish Will had been here today, because I've actually started doing that myself. I'm a GM as well as a golf professional. So, you know, in the afternoons after school gets out, I only have so many hours with juniors, and if I stagger those into one 30-minute lesson, I'm only going to be able to touch 3 or 4 kids that day. Versus if I'm using the coaching model and I'm getting them out on the golf course, guess what? That gets me on the golf course. It helps me package those juniors into one little program. Now I can touch 3 or 4 of those 4-person pods in an afternoon, and it gives me more engagement with the member and the member's parents, and it's just a great program. So I encourage you to look at all the suite of services that we're talking about here today, because it's really made a big difference at my facility as well as my assistant.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Cary. So just want to remind you to reach out to me if you have any questions. You can scan the code up there. There's also codes on the QR codes on the tables if you'd like to do that to get my information. We'll have it out on the table as you leave today for lunch. But please reach out to me for help in the area of player engagement. Don for career services. We're here as a team for you and to help you help create more value for yourself, make more money, and create value for your facilities. So I close with a quote from Simon Sinek. I'm a big fan of his. Work ethic is giving great effort to complete a task, but passion, which we all have for the game, and we know that, passion is giving great effort to advance a cause. So we all have that passion for the game here. Let's keep that passion in place and keep this going for all of us to be successful and those behind us. Thanks again for the extra time. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Doug. Couple things before we adjourn here. Thank you, everybody, for coming. This has been just a really successful 2 days. So proud of our partners that came yesterday. We were afraid. You know, we've been trying to pull this Band-Aid off of getting this meeting off of our tournament program for a while. We took a chance. It was extremely successful, and I want to thank the staff for everything they did to pull all this off. So just a really great 2 days. It was great seeing everybody yesterday as well as today. Another big thanks, Mark. Thank you for everything you did for us. Look forward to our relationship growing, and Russ coming in. I think he's going to do a great job for those who don't. Russ Libby will be our new district director. He's awesome. I've gotten to spend quite a bit of time with him over the last 8 years or so, and I look forward to working with him. So, as well as I did want to let everybody know too that the Georgia section was one of the first teams to support Nathan, to second him in his search to become our next secretary. I've gotten to spend quite a bit of time with him. He is amazing. I think when you guys see him, you're going to be very impressed. Future looks bright for our national board, and we're excited about him and what he's going to bring to the table. So, having said that, I will take a motion to adjourn. Second. All right, we're adjourned.